Hello everybody, greetings and salutations, Dan the Wolfman here, and I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with why Glock 9mm suck in the year 2021 and beyond. Whoa, 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 bro! Well, the reason is, if you're just a guy who doesn't really know about pistols, you think a Glock's number one, so you get a Glock. But if you actually know firearms, and YouTubers that really know firearms, people with great pedigrees like HR Funk or Paul Harrell, or a guy experienced, even myself, with, I don't know, 35 years shooting pistols, just went through a SWAT school, and everyone else went through Glock with Glock 19s or Glock 17s. I went through with a different pistol that performed flawlessly in mud and rain and all that. But, you know, times are changing. Things have caught up. I'm saying in the year 2021, I ain't saying it's junk that it won't work, but reasons why it's not as great as everybody says. That mostly that's just hearsay from people that don't really know what they're talking about, or what was their maybe issued weapon, or people that listen to bad rap music, perhaps. Keep in mind, 26 years ago, the first pistol I ever bought, the first pistol I ever owned was a Gen 2 Glock 23. So I do know a bit about Glocks. This isn't going to make me any friends in Smyrna, Georgia. Empty firearm. And for comparative purposes, I purposely picked a lower budget value pistol, the G3C. Neither of these are mine. This is my roommate's. Don't come trying to get this someday, you bad tyrants. This is Taurus, and I gotta send it back. But just gonna make a comparison with this pistol, because during the pandemic I had to sell all my evil higher capacity pistols. So, here we go. We got Gen 4 Glock 19. Roommate also has a Gen 5 17. I might shoot in a video tomorrow. Empty firearm. Empty-ish firearm. Oh, let's see if this gets some views. Oh, do you see that? This one shoots lasers. Because it's my dry fire laser trainer, since it has restrike capability. Even the double action trigger on that is better than the trigger on the Glock 19 here. So that is one of the big things. The main thing is the money, the value for what you're actually getting. Instead of marketing and hearsay and living off of a name that was built 35 years ago, instead of living off an old name, any striker-fired pistol is reliable. Okay? Pretty much nowadays, they got it down. It's so simple, a striker-fired pistol. Any striker-fired pistol is reliable. And you know what? They come with metal sights. They come with good triggers, better than this. And way better ergonomics, a better slide, stop, slide, release. So those are reasons why a Glock isn't all you think it is. Okay? Again, be intellectually honest. Have you been shooting 35 years? Was the first pistol you owned a Glock? Because back then, Glock was ahead of everybody. As far as lightweight, easy to carry, high capacity, it was its game, okay? It was. That's why it was the first pistol I bought. Okay? I even had a down payment. I lost $50 on I wish I bought it. It's a lot of value now, 45 Winchester Magnum. But realized that's like 40 ounces or 45 ounces and wasn't going to be the best, if I ever needed to potentially carry it one day in an all-around pistol and ammo cost and whatnot. Now this one's a Gen 4, has the finger grooves. They finally got rid of that. I know it's not a Gen 5. All they did was make it a little harder to conceal by flaring out the mag well a little bit. Not really any innovative changes, okay? And as far as weight and capacity, well, it's kind of bypassed. Okay, so let's look first at these horrible plastic sights. In a defensive pistol, you don't want this banging on the concrete in a fight for your life, and now your sight's all sideways. You just don't want that. And it's not a good sight picture anyway, this rear bucket. It's not great. Okay? Let's start with that. Now, let's look at this horrible, horrible trigger. Okay? I don't know how long this one's been fired. I'm hoping this hasn't been fired a lot, because this doesn't even seem in the 5.5 to 6.5 pound range. This seems just under 7 pounds on my trigger finger. Okay, I don't have a gauge, might be 6.5, but there's so much gritty kind of creep after the take up and the mush as you pull through. And people that shoot Glocks don't know how to shoot, and they shoot low left if they're right-handed. Because even me, with a good grip, this pulls it off a little bit. Okay, especially one-handed. Try it, dry fire, make sure it's empty, and see how much your sights destabilize. Okay, because that's a bad break. That is not good. It's bad. Comparatively, the G3C, this is how you would fire it, single action. Okay, longer take up, maybe even more safe, less likely to get Glock leg, but a nice break. Let's look at in double action. Let's look at the reset first. Okay, there's your reset. Okay, same nice short reset pretty much. Maybe even better. Let's look at here, and there's the break. Now let's look at double action. I prefer this double action pull that I dry fire every day for the last month and a half or so. Okay, before I got to send it back. To the Glocks trigger. Okay? Trigger and sights are kind of the most important, and grip angle. Let's go to the grip angle. This grip angle stinks, especially to guys with, it seems like, big hands. I wear an XL glove, HR Funk, pretty big hands. Masad Ayob. None of us, and Paul Harrell, none of us like the 9mm Glocks. I actually kind of like the Glock 48, but that kind of sucks too, because it was a 10-rounder, and everyone else, you know, without buying shield mags and sights and a new trigger, and now your 550 Glock that's way overpriced is a $950 Gucci Glock that you then sell because you realize it's no good. Okay? I mean, not no good. I would carry a decked out Glock 48. But the ergonomics on this, look at this. It's a horrible brick. That's why you call them blocks. Sorry, Smyrna. Maybe you could actually try to make pistols better from each generation to the next. Wouldn't that be swell? All you did was go back to Gen 1, Gen 2 and get rid of the stupid finger grooves. Horrible. No undercut. I mean, it's undercut, but it's so thick here that you get Glock knuckle. It's no good in recoil. Okay? It's no good when you're at SWAT school. Okay? But the grip angle, this thing, for me, HR Funk, everyone, I even rented a Gen 5, and I'm doing a Mozambique on like 3 yards, and I shot over his forehead. Doing a Mozambique at like 3 or 5 yards. That doesn't happen to me with any other pistol, because it aims so high for us. Now, the 45 and the 10mm Glocks, well, they got a lot going for them if that's what you want, because of capacity and weight. If you want high capacity, low weight, 10mm or 45. Plus, for me, HR Funk, Masad Ayob, maybe even Paul Harrell, I think it might be too wide for his hands. But even those, even though it still has all the same problems, it kind of doesn't point as high for us. But it points way, way, way high. As opposed to even this Taurus G3C, so ergonomic. Okay? So thin and rounded and nice, and it feels great in the hand, and it's a perfect natural pointer. I have videos on this, on range review, unboxing, why it's a natural pointer. I have a proprioception point shooting video with the laser. You can see it on photorealistic targets. And I'm just comparing this, because this is a $200 to $300 pistol. And this pistol, well, you know, the military, it's like $212. If you're a cop, blue label, it's like $385. And if you're a civvy and you find the best price, it's $550. And if you're dumb like my roommate, you bought a Gen 5 17 for $700. Okay? This is not a $700 pistol. No striker-fired pistol is a $700 pistol. Okay? They're not that expensive to manufacture when they can sell this in the P320 to the military at $212 per unit. Now, that's a huge $580 million order, But there's a lot of reasons why the Glock just isn't that, even compared to like this great G3C. I just wish it didn't have an external safety. But even that, it doesn't really get in the way, and it's good safety. Speaking of other features, so wide, blocky, bad ergos, feels like crap. Take your girlfriend, be honest, be intellectually honest, or yourself, go and handle one at a store, and then pick up a PPQ. Or pick up a P320 that has a Wilson grip module on it. Those are ergonomics. A brick with all this big, wide, similar circumference is not good ergonomics. I'm not going to pay $550 for plastic sights and a shitty trigger and bad ergos. Okay, that didn't really float from 2015 on, and it definitely shouldn't be floating from 2021 on. If you make a Gen 6, you know, they still have a leg up if they actually made a Gen 5, G30, G40, 41. I think they started to on the 40, 41s maybe, and made them all MOS and actually had a nice undercut and, you know, worked on the circumference and maybe, I don't know, changed your molds in the last 25, 35 years. That would be great, Glock. You're not sending me any pistols to T and E anyway. G3C, better buy. So it comes down to the money. I'm not saying it's not reliable. It won't save your life. I'm not saying if that's what you got, because everyone says that to get your first carry gun. Okay. But you're not a guy who goes to range every week like I do. You didn't go through a squad academy. You haven't owned and tried out all kinds of different pistols, over well, I mean, since I was a kid, 35 years or 26 years since I bought my first Gen 2 Glock 23. There's just, it sells for a lot more than it's worth. Okay? And people eat it up because, just get a Glock 19. Okay? That's not great advice. Get the gun that fits well in your hand, which this doesn't fit good in anyone's hand because it's bad design. It's not ergonomic. It aims super high, higher than it should, okay? Higher than all these other pistols. And it shouldn't come with plastic cheap sights, which is one reason if you look at specs, the weight is light. I mean, this is almost 24 ounces. This is 22 ounces. Now, it is a smaller pistol. It is a 12-round pistol. Let's look at that ejection. Oh, my God. This gun is half upside down, and look at it shoot out. Look at it shoot out from the bottom. Okay? Look at the Glock. Shoot out from the bottom. Ooh, what a nice weak spring. How about to the side? Up. So wait, I'm doing a reload. I'm a cop in a gunfight. I'm a civilian and I'm in a gunfight. And oh my God, I had to do a rare reload. I'm a cop and I have to do reload. Often. That's why people that compete with Glocks, USPSA and stuff, they flick it. You see the John Wick thing and they flick it. That's a Glock thing. Okay, that shouldn't be a thing. Where's the? You see a shootout of the $250 cheaper, $300 cheaper G3C? It shoots out of there. Let's talk about the slide release. Okay, this has better metal. It sticks out a bit further, and it's rated. Okay? It sticks out further, and it's rated. That's good. Okay, that's good. So, I see all these cops we're doing shield, live fire with shields. Okay? And we did simunitions with, simunition Glocks. It's especially with gloves on, man, and you're holding a shield. You're holding a shield and you're trying to hit this little flat, cheap metal there. So people say, well, it's just a slide stock. Well, I'm sorry. Coming over the top is slower than any other pistol if I just hit that and use it as a slide release, since it releases the slide. So I'll get all kinds of hate. So, and then, a whole lot of people, ND. I mean, any striker fire gun can do that. This is a little bit better because it's a longer stroke. So actually, for a beginner, in a way, the Taurus is better because it has longer take-up, and that is safer. As a dry fire tool, but this is special. Most striker-fired guns can't. You got the striker capability. So, watch my unboxing, my review, and my proprioception. And, I'm shooting at weird angles, both at live fire and with a laser. And you can see even one-handed upside down and cowboy and bent elbow technique and all that. This points naturally. Most pistols point pretty good. This is probably the best pointing pistol I've ever shot, believe it or not. And it is different with hand size, but these aim high for just about everyone. So, just because you got a Glock, that's what you heard was the bestest. maybe look at Masad Ayob and Paul Harrell and HR Funk and even myself, why we don't love the Glock 9mm. And why, would I buy one blue label maybe? Yeah, I could buy one, maybe for $390. Am I going to pay $550? No. Am I going to pay $700? No. Not for plastic sights and a shitty trigger. Feel this versus a PPQ or versus a P320 if you can ever get your hands a hold of a Wilson combat grip module. Those are true ergos. Even a VP9 is better. A P10C is better. P10C is going to have, I think, metal sights, a way better trigger, and the same money. Talk about width and weight. If you look at AirX Delta, which I've reviewed, my friend's Delta and Delta Gen 2, thinner, 2 ounces lighter. Thinner, 2 ounces lighter, metal sights, a white metal dot, and a black serrated rear. AirX Delta. Also takes P10 mags, fits in most Glock 19 or Glock 17 holsters pretty well. And, they were like $550, and now they're down to like $420. Soon they'll be hitting probably $410. That's a lot better. A good trigger, a much better trigger, way better metal sights. I don't, and guys, black metal rear is way better. You don't like the visual distraction anyway. You should be focusing on the front sight, not something in your visual field. 3 dots suck even worse. Even this and the G3, the full size G3 I haven't shot, but even this, a metal front, white, and a nice black serrated rear. Okay, so just think about how much it really costs to make. And these are Brisbane, Georgia nowadays, right? It says made in Brazil, and then I think it's assembled in Brisbane. Okay, maybe it's both. But if you look like the AirX Delta is made in Europe from a military factory, and just compare the prices, guys, that's all I'm saying. Actually be intellectually honest before you downvote me of why, at least in 2021, the 9mm Glocks and the 45 and 10mm still got a thumbs up on other makers. And it would be nice if they made like actual Gen 5 or Gen 6 with a nice undercut and real thinned it out and made some decent ergos. Wouldn't that be swell? As far as reliability, all striker-fired pistols are pretty darn reliable nowadays. And in fact, Glocks have a tendency to even limp wrist worse with newer shooters or when shooting upside down. And you see law enforcement, they fail. I mean, it's not this magical reliability that people say. In fact, otherwise the military wouldn't have picked. It wasn't just about money. I think the mean failures between rounds are pretty much similar between them. But anyway,